Hello and welcome to Buses Where Are They Now? With me, bus enthusiast Josh. Welcome to April's edition of Buses Where Are They Now? And tonight we talk about a variety of things that have moved across, new liveries, and lots of other bus topics as well, and a couple of withdrawals as well. So, here we go. Originally, we filmed this yesterday, which was the Saturday here in May. We're currently away here in Ballon-on-Sea in Somerset, and we've had this wonderful caravan for a week, and now obviously returned home back to Dorset after the 18th of May. So this will be out on the 18th of May at 7 p.m. and that's because it's later because we didn't get it done in time, and that the signal, because also the busway doesn't have a card in it, you see, so it only runs on home signal and not out in a third party environment. So yeah, unfortunately, we are sorry that it is much later for April's edition. Unfortunately, at the start of May, I was quite unwell, so I couldn't really do it. I was having lots of water down my nose and face, and it was terrible. So I just couldn't do it. I wasn't well enough. Um, so I feel much better now. So yeah, just a local infection, I think, but yeah, I'm doing okay. Just been a busy couple of weeks as well. So all I'll say is, projects are going very well. A lot of good things to come during the summer, as it's been a bit up and down during the winter, but we're doing okay. And I'm looking forward to the summer. So yeah, definitely. Okay, let's get on with buses. Where are they now? And April's edition. So I'll start with first bus. 33465 has moved to Weymouth in ultraviolet livery. It was painted in ultraviolet livery in Cornwall with First Colonel before they went under back in February. That went on loan to First Bath, Bristol, and the West operations there. And then it came to Weymouth about a month ago at least. So that's at Weymouth. It is out and about with Weymouth operations. And of course, that's joined by 33464 and 33463 as well. But both 63 and 64 are having some work done at the moment, and then hopefully they'll be out at some point very soon. So that's 65 there. Quite a few electric West Bus vehicles have arrived for 2026. So there's quite a few Yutong E12 single deck vehicles and a few Yutong U11 double decker vehicles as well. So that takes the list of Yutongs from 30112, I think it does, to 30150, and that's at West Bus. And I think a few Yutong double decks as part of the electric grant up and down the UK. I think there's quite a few in Basildon with First Essex as well, but I'm not too sure. But definitely loads of green ones for West Bus. So it's really good for the local Bath, Bristol, Western and the West of England economy. And I think they prove to be very popular. I've been on 30086. That was my first ever green bus that I did quite a few weeks back. And to be fair, it's quite an interesting bus, you know. And yet to do like the longer single deck wheelbase. I did the Taunton batch, and my first ever one was 300002. The little electrics that go around Taunton, my first one was 48503, and the 28 Minehead, the right bus kites, was 63700. So I'll add that to my list at some point, and say that's they were my first ever vehicles to go on since starting at first West of England and first Taunton. So because Taunton go under like the ultraviolet livery, same as Weymouth and Essex, but like Bath and Bristol and the West of England, they have this green livery called Westbus, and they are part of First Bus. Really, there should be an ultraviolet livery as part of the new buses, but the council in Somerset want the buses in green as part of their local network, you see, so that's the reason why they're in green and not in purple as originally stated and planned. Okay, 47587 has gone on loan to First Berkshire and the Thames Valley unit to Slough for rail replacement bus use, and that is a loan move from Weymouth. 37586, unfortunately we do have some sad news with that. That has now been withdrawn from service due to an axle problem at the rear of the vehicle. That particular bus has been sawn on DVLA website, so that will not be back on the roads ever again. We move on to Yellow Buses Bournemouth. Opta Tempo 104 has now been repainted into some type of light blue colour with Starline coaches, Starline buses, whatever they call themselves. That 104 and 107 are both together with Starline. 104 carries the new number plate registration of 969 LKM. So, looking good for that one. So that's been repainted into light blue. 107 I think has been done, but I'm not too sure if it has a private registration plate or not. Okay, yellow buses 111 and 112. As of 16th of March of this year, they have both been scrapped at Sheldon Motors in East London and into Essex. When buses sit at Ensign for a long time, if they don't get purchased or they just sit around and do nothing and waste space at Ensign Yard, then the only way that they go is scrapyard because no one wants them. They're just rubbish. So, well, in Ensign's yard, or in Ensign's view, that bus doesn't make anything for them. So the best value for those, if they sit around for a very long time with problems, these particular ones had their engines taken out and parts removed. So both of the buses there were classed as inadequate, had problems underneath, and of course no MOT since leaving Bournemouth Transport on the final day, and they were sat since early July of 2022, and both were not MOT'd around that time. So they never really saw the road after a few years after Yellow. So yeah, unfortunately, both of them now have been scrapped and no longer around with us. So it is a bit of a shame, but as I say, um, not everything can be saved. We did try, but as I say, with the Viking Millenniums, we just didn't make it, and we had no plans um, to take any of that batch on for preservation. If we did, then there is 115 still around, but that is literally the only chance with those left. So, yeah, gutted, but got to move on with those. Obviously gone. And obviously 37586 will be scrapped at some point, but at the moment it's just withdrawn and sat at Weymouth, helping other buses with parts. Okay, on to page 1. 1,000 and 2,000, both demonstration buses, are at Salisbury Reds at the moment, mainly based on the active 8 line, to Andover and the army camps along the route, Bulford. So I believe they're trialling out on that particular route because the Activate might be getting something new, but we'll see. We'll see what happens with that. 1589 has been repainted into the New Forest Breezer livery. That's the only one that's been done at the moment, as 1587, 88, 92, 93 and 94 are still in the current Southern Vets' old livery. 87 and 88 are at Leamington at the moment. 92, 3 and 4 are at Bournemouth under Moorbus. 95 is being repainted into Moorbus Swing livery. But 1590 and 1591 have both been repainted into Moorbus Swing livery. Both of those are at Ringwood for the X6 and Brockenhurst College and Schools corridor. And of course, 1592, 3 and 4 will get done into Moor livery at some point, as they're also destined to go to Ringwood at some point anyway. But at the moment, a few are at Bournemouth, you see. So, getting prepared for the summer uplift, which actually the roofs are coming off this week. So, roofs are coming off between the 19th of May and the 22nd of May. So, I think Swanage and Pimpen are going to be where they're being done, which I know that because that's where the roof racks are. So, yeah. There are a couple of reports. So 1535 to 1540, 1541 and 1547 might be moving to Poole, or 1530 to 1534 may move to either Totton or Empress Road for Euro 6 emissions reasons. Or 1531 to 1534, there were talks that they were going to go to Salisbury for the X7 and X7Rs to push out the Scania Omni-Cities that have the Euro 6 emissions attached to them. Well, attached, but that they had the technology of Euro 6 fitted on board, you see. So that's obviously 1134 to 1136, I believe it is. So yeah. So that's obviously a talk there. And then in exchange for those, 1542 to 1546 will move to either Poole or Leamington, but we don't know exactly. So I'm not too sure what's going to be happening with those reports, but we'll see how it goes. Yeah. Okay, 1522 has been repainted into the Jurassic Breezer livery, joined shortly by 1523, 24, 25 and 1526 as well. 3328, one of the Dennis Darts in Damery livery. That particular bus has been donated to the Isle of Wight Bus Museum at Ryde. And that's been donated, of course, by Go South Coast. That's joined by Volvo B70L Plaxton shaped 1997. So that is very exciting there for the Isle of Wight Bus Museum. Congratulations, yeah. And then 3329 is to be confirmed at the moment. So we'll see about that one. Okay, 1132, 1133, 1138, 1139 and 1140 have all moved to the Damery for Portland Pool shuttles. Currently not too sure on 1134 to 1137, 1141, 1125 to 1131. Also, we're not really sure about 1101 to 1142, but I do know that the plan as it stands is 1147, 6, 3. Hang on. Sorry, 1146, 1147, 1143, 1106, 7, 8 and 9 are all moving to Damery ports at some point as well, joining those lot. And then I think the plan is that the 6901 to 6913 batch will shortly be withdrawn after the summer. And of course that will be joined by 6910, which is currently in reserves on the Isle of Wight. So that particular one I think is doing Isle of Wight's festivals for another summer before that's definitely being withdrawn and likely to be scrapped, of course. But we'll see. Someone might come forward for it. We don't know. But yeah. Okay. 1660 has been repainted into Swindon Bus and Co livery from Southern Baptist. That's joined by 1663 and 1661 as well. Swindon Bus and Co also take on the, or have taken on, shall we say, the 9 bus service to Rowton from Stagecoach, and that was taken over about a month ago. Okay. 372 and 379 have left Swindon Bus and Co now on tow trucks. Both of those have been seen in the video at a Barnsley scrapyard for buses. So either Trevor Wigley's or Colton's, was it? What's the other one? Trevor Wigley's and Jeff Ripley, that's it. So they've been spotted in there. That's joined by 1015 and 1018 as well. 1645 has been repainted into the New Forest Breezer livery. 1646 is still in Blue Star livery, but it is yet to be done, and it should be back at some point. It hasn't actually left yet though for repaint, so I don't know what the plan is for that. I think it is being done, but maybe other buses are in the way at the minute for that. So, but it will be done. Don't panic. And of course, just talked about the Isle of Wight festivals, weren't we? So, as it stands, so 1019, 1020, 1137 and 1141, 1016, 1017, 1824 and 1993. All of those are on the Isle of Wight for festival buses for the Isle of Wight Fest in June. We was going to go over to the island to get photos and videos of those around the nearby roads, but unfortunately we have pulled out at our end here at Bus Enthusiast Josh due to other commitments. We are looking into doing what we were going to do in 2027 next year. 374, one of the Swindon Omnideckers, has been preserved. I'm not sure who's taking it on, but okay, we've got one of those in in preservation. Sorry. So yeah, so very exciting on that. And then there were talks that 1824 and 1016 would have been at pull for additional vehicles as part of a loan, but both of those now have reported have gone to the Isle of Wight for the Isle of Wight Festival. And there's rumours as well that 1504 from Salisbury has also gone that direction to the Isle of Wight for the festivals as well, and then joined by 1505 and 1506 very, very soon. But as of filming this, 1505 and 1506 are still at Salisbury Reds helping out still. Okay, so 1502 and 1503 have gone on loan to Moorbus Pool for the summer, and then 1501 will either come to us here at Moor when it's been fixed, or that will go to the Isle of Wight festivals temporarily, and then obviously 1504, 5, 6 and potentially 1 will also come back to the mainland potentially in July. So we will have to see about that. It would be amazing if they did. You know, having all 6 of them at Poole would be incredible. But we're gonna have to see about that, I think. Yeah. Sandbanks Ferry. So what was we going to talk about with that? I think they're moving very shortly to like an AMPR system, and that jobs were going to be cut. I think there was disappointment, but kind of everything's kind of been settled now. And I believe the ferry in November is going for a refit for about 3 or 4 weeks at Falmouth, but that is yet to be confirmed. And if that did happen, then you've got your 51 returning and potentially the 50X, is it? Or the 52? Whatever it was called. So, obviously additional buses are going to be needed. And of course, with that in particular, and of course with the Flying Scotsman coming to Swanage at the end of October into the start of November, I've kind of put an appeal into Moorbus about 1502 and 3 as it stands, staying on it more for a bit longer to help with additional vehicles whilst going around like the long way around the A351 past Corfe Castle, and because buses are going to be very late on their schedules, you see. And with that appeal that I have put in because of rumours of the ferry going for a refit, and obviously we know that the Flying Scotsman is definitely coming to Swanage Railway at the end of October, I can tell you that that appeal has been won by myself and has been a successful appeal. So those two in particular are going to be at Moor for a lot longer, and you never know, some others might stay on for a bit longer too, but all I know is those two, and obviously 1501, 4, 5 and 1506 they're all programmed for next sub announcements anyway. So I think we've got this for now. So all good. Yeah. 11:35 is on loan to Moorbus for a short-term transfer this summer. That's actually in place of 1501, but not too sure if that's gonna come to us 1501 or not. But if it doesn't, then I believe that will go to the Isle of Wight Fest, and 11:35 will stay with us at Moorbus. The Exmoor open top bus contract between Minehead and Linton and Lynmouth. Stagecoach have taken over the service from Saturday the 23rd of May until Sunday the 31st of August. It runs 3 times a day, every day, in between that period. And obviously the Linton and Lynmouth to Ilfracombe section is going to be operated by a separate company using an Opto Solo or an ADL Enviro 200. And of course, because of all of this, First Buses of Somerset have lost the Exmoor contract for 2026. The service between Minehead and Linton and Lynmouth is going to be called the 300, and that is going to be using potentially one open top and one standard bus if duplicate is going to be needed. Apparently it was quite overcrowded last year and people were left behind, so yeah, I think hopefully they'll get that sorted, but if they don't, then Somerset and Devon councils are going to be complained at. Not good. As Sam originally said to me not too long ago in the Facebook comments. Okay, page 4. Oh, hang on. Did I drop my pen somewhere? Yes, I did. Idiot. I've lost another pen, haven't I? Okay. Don't worry, I'll find it in a minute. Okay. Okay, we're on to questions, which is actually another video. Because like the end of Film With You yesterday, that's on a separate video. So I've actually already asked the questions on there. So that, I believe, is everything. Oh, there is one more thing just to talk about. So the Bournemouth Town Centre changes. I've done a video out there in Bournemouth explaining where the new stops are. That's joined by more bus leaflets and information at bus stops with like sticky signs attached to bus stops, and of course information on the website too. But recently Westover Road is going to be closed between Monday the 18th of May and Friday the 22nd of May. So buses will have some type of diversion within the town centre and pick up and drop off at various locations. That is all somewhere around town centre, but it's not exactly clear. So I would suggest keeping an eye out on Moorbus socials, on the app and at Moorbus website. Okay, and that is everything for now for Buses Where Are They Now. Thank you very much for watching. Sorry it's been so late, as I say. So May's edition will be literally within the next 2 or 3 weeks, where we're going to have more updates. So a nice, quick and easy one tonight. And I'm glad, because obviously some of this was written twice for some reason, but never mind, it's just one of those things. So yeah, I'm going to find my pen. I am, so that's what I'm going to do. So that is everything for now here with Buses Where Are They Now. I'll see everyone in May for May's edition of Buses Where Are They Now, where we will be talking about even more things regarding buses and latest info. thank you for watching, and we'll see you on the buses very soon. Thank you, and goodbye. Good night. There's my pen. It's just dropped out of my lap. Thanks for watching. Good night. Hang on. Wait a minute. I've forgotten to talk to you about something. Just before you go. Sorry. So, from the 23rd of May, there's obviously a couple of bus changes. So, it's basically a variety of things. So, the 20 will extend to Christchurch from Castle Point. The 33 no longer goes to Christchurch. It will go to Castle Point after Royal Bournemouth Hospital. The 21 extends to Camford Paddock with the 11, making a half an hour frequency together, but certain parts of the route where it's on its own will be hourly due to a lack of funding from Bournemouth and Christchurch and Poole Council. The 81 and 82 are the new numbers replacing the X1 and X2. Those will be rested. The 86 is the new route with Moorbus, former Blue Star 6. The number 6 number will be rested and then probably likely to be used within Blue Star fleet within the next 12 months. And also the Bournemouth bus stand changes, kind of just discussed that really. And also the full route visual videos, we're yet to do the X3 to Salisbury, a couple of Danbury routes, the 81 and 82, the 70, the 1B if it's a double decker, the 36 if it's a double, which is very unlikely, the 33, which will be filmed after the 27th, no, because that's half time, isn't it? It will be after the 2nd of June, won't it? So, yeah, with that one. So that's 33 and 20 after then. The 8 and 9 round Turlin Moor. The 30 and 35 also yet to be filmed in full. The U4, U2, and the U1 around Cranbourne House as well. 737, I don't know if we're going to do that or not, but we'll see. And I think that is literally everything with the routes locally to be filmed in full. So yeah, a lot to get through, but we're getting there. Okay, so that's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching. Buses Rhino now, definitely. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the buses. Yeah. What? Shall we just try again? So that's everything for now. Thank you very much for watching Buses Where Are They Now. I will be back in May with May's edition of Buses Where Are They Now, where we talk about even more bus things. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the buses very soon. Take care, and good night.